up your home right now.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. It is Art of Conquest night. So once again, continuing our tradition, Masharo is first in our live chat. So he is granted one wish, within reason, of course. I don't know if he really deserves a wish though, because he beat me in Clash Royale today like 5 matches in a row. Was it 5, Masharo? I can't remember. I lost track after my heart stopped beating. So welcome to the show, everybody. It's good to have you here. So what are we going to be talking about tonight? Well, if you haven't been paying attention to Art of Conquest, there is a new Succession War update, and before, the highest rank was was King of your kingdom, but now you can be Emperor of Nor, which is basically Emperor of the entire server. So let's get stinking, guys, and start talking about this Succession War. Art of Conquest is on mobile devices only, I believe. It's on iOS and Android. So let's meet our stinking family. How's it going, Mr. Anthony, the latest of our members to win a magic mug? So Anthony, that will be going out in the mail tomorrow. So I believe it's going to New York is where it's going, right? So I would expect you to have it probably by Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. So be looking for it there. And, you know, if you're able, send us a picture so we can post it up here and give you some recognition for that. Because what I would like to do is all our winners, I'd like to have a little pose of them with their mug. So once we have all of them awarded out to our viewers, then I'll throw it all together in one big picture to broadcast to everybody. So just have fun with it and enjoy that mug. So while we get ready to talk about it, I'm going to go ahead and do the void. So let's get going in doing that void. So the Succession War, what is it about, actually? If you don't know, we're going to try to cover everything we can possibly cover in regards to the Succession War. So before we get started and start talking about it, though, I have some mixed feelings about this latest update. So I'll try to keep everything as positive as I can. But at the same time, I don't want to mislead anyone, so I will also offer some of my honest opinion about this update. So we'll just see how that goes. So the main problem with the game right now is that this isn't a game that you can just pick up and be competitive in right off the bat, unless it's a new server. So I have been on this server. This is server 51, Naldrassil, and I always make fun of that because to me, Naldrassil reminds me of like the name of a nose spray or something, but that's my joke. But anywho, let me proceed here. So I have been on this server since day 1 of the game coming out, and it hasn't even been a year yet, and I already feel hopeless on this server. Let's take a look. The players at the top, if we go to all, look at this. The best player on the server has 5 million power, and I have 800k. Peaches has like 1.1 million power, and she plays the server way more than I do, but even she playing it every day, hours and hours every day, is still only 20% of the power that the top guy has. So no matter what anybody does on this server, you're not going to catch that top guy unless he just quits playing for a really long time. So that's the hopeless feeling, and that's the problem with a lot of servers. Now Lilith, they don't really address a good solution on how they're going to fix it. Right now, their only fix for this is to say, hey, you know, we can't really fix the current servers, So let's just start up another server. So they'll start up another server where everybody starts from 0, but then as time goes on, that server will get to the same status that this server is in. Did I leave the void? I must have. Come on, Stinkpot, you can multitask better than that. So let's see here. Yeah, I lost the void. It's right there. Okay, boom. Let's go back in. Back into the void we go. And we'll go on to the next one. Proceed. Alright, so I used to think, though, that this game, you could be competitive without spending a penny in this game. But yet, slowly and slowly, I keep spending more and more money on this game. But why do I do that? That's a personal choice I have. And I'm older than most of my viewers out there. Getting pretty old anyway. So I have the means to pay for some of this stuff. But why do I keep doing it? Well, the good news is this game can be very addictive. So that's one reason why I do it. But the bad news is it's definitely a pay-to-win game. And but I have to have hope that eventually things will balance out and Lilith will start listening to their players. Blah, 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 blah. That's my hope. You know, that's the type of person I am. I always hope that something down the road's going to get better. So that's the second reason why I keep spending money on this game. But as a casual player, like so many of you out of there, in order to be competitive in this game, you really just have to start on a brand new server. So let me finish this battle real quick, and then we'll start talking. Oh, Danny Frazier, welcome to the community. You are now a stinking subscriber. Welcome to the family, my friend. So yeah, I appreciate you here. Danny and I talked briefly earlier today. He's a brand new player, Art of Conquest, had some questions. So feel free to go ahead and launch them out. Also, Kai Brown joined us as well. So yeah, let me go ahead and finish this battle and clear this void, and then I'll pop out of here. So like I said, guys, if you're a brand new player on this game, you really want to start on a brand new server, because if you, I mean, this is a merge server, so any merge server, it's not going to let you join. But if you want to join, your best chance is to go to Realms, hit where it says New Realms, and currently there's only one new realm, which is 1250. I'm not on 1250. If you want to play with me, you're a brand new player, your best bet is to go to server 1237, because that server is about 3 weeks old, so it's the second newest server. So that's where I play it over there. And you know, after playing that one for what, 3 weeks now, I'm up to almost 200k power there. So yeah, so but like I said, I play this game probably, I would say, probably about 5 hours a day. I play this game. That's a lot, so it's not very casual at all. So it looks like Masharo's heading out, so see you later, my friend. So let me see here. So I wrote down a couple of questions that people have been asking me throughout the week. Let me retrieve them real quick. So let's see. Question number 1, and these are all new player questions. So how do you get recipe X? You know, if you want to know about recipes, and how do you defend someone was the second question. So we're going to go ahead and answer that, and then after that we're going to get right into this Succession War update. So here we go. So the first question was, how do you you know, get a specific recipe? So once you get, I think, what is it, level 10, you get access to the alchemy core where you can do some crafting. And so someone was asking me, like, you know, I'll just use this flaming rod as an example. How do you get the flaming rod? You know, where's the recipe for that? So you can see I already have the flaming rod, so I'm not going to be able, you know, I can't remember where that came from. But anytime you want to know how to get any of these recipes, just scroll down a little bit, because all the recipes in the game are in this list, whether you have them or not. If you do not have them, they'll be grayed out, and I gotta go pretty far. So here we go. So there we go. All the ones that say locked are the ones I do not have, and all you gotta do is simply tap on each one, and it says unlock at the Royal Archives. So if you want that recipe, you gotta head on over to the Royal Archives and have enough honor in order to purchase it. Now let's go to a different one. Clear Void Stage 65 for a chance to unlock. So a lot of you new players you won't know about the Void, you won't know about the Royal Archives, but the Void is where I just was a minute ago, and you have to clear each stage of it. And once you clear it, you have to get perfect on it, and once you do that, then you have a chance to getting this recipe. So that's the ultimate goal of the Void, is to get all the recipes unlocked. So alright, let's get back into it. And our next question was, how do you defend someone? So from the main screen, you go to home, and then you go to city, and then you pick someone that you want to defend, and you hit defend. That's pretty much how it goes. So anytime you join a city, whether you're a new player or old, you always want to defend someone, and you always want to have someone defending you. So a common complaint I'll hear about that is, well, you know, there's an odd number of people. Not a problem. You don't have to have an even number of people in order to defend each other. The ultimate goal is to form a triangle. So if this guy is defending this guy, then this guy should defend this guy, and then that guy should come back around and defend that first person again. So form that nice little triangle. That way all three people are being defended. So that is the proper way to defend someone in this game. So alright, back to the Succession War. And let's see, Danny says, how do you get stronger heroes and better gear for them? Only thing I got for mine are green gear. Just unlocked the Void on mine. Very hard for me to get past the second stage. Very good questions, Danny. I'm glad you asked them. And Anthony, if you want to join me, it's going to be server 1237, which is Vesta. 1237 Vesta. That's my server. That's the second newest server. But if you want to play the brand new, the current new server is 1250, which I do not play on. So there's that. And let me get back to where I was. Neldrassil. Alright, so how do you get stronger heroes? So as you play this game, Danny, and as you go through the Void, actually, I already did the Void on the other one, so I can show you the Void. Let's go to this guy. He'll be able to do the Void. So let's hop on over here and go to the Void. I'm pretty sure he does. Yep, Void Mirror. So here we go. Head on over to the Void. Athaly, A-T-H-A-L-Y, it's light blue. Anthony, that's the answer. So, what you need to do, Danny, before you go into the Void, so the thing about the Void is, it's like obviously it's a mirror. It's a portal mirror, whatever you want to call it. So whatever you take in there with you is the only thing you're going to have in there. So, look at my army here. I have all these troops, right? So if I go into the Void right now, all I'm going to have in there are just these troops. So what you want to do is grab be a part of a city. You want to first get in a house, which is like a guild or whatever. So the way to do that is go to here, and you can join, search, create, whatever you feel comfortable doing. And then that'll put you in a house. And then once you are in a house, then you have all these cities on the map that all of these houses control. And so then you go, once you're in the house, you can go over here to the people icon. Oops, sorry, not the people icon. Oh, I'm not in a house on this one. That's why it's not showing up. Let me go back to the other guy. 51. So once you're in a house, boom, 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 you hit the people icon, then you hit cities, and it'll show you all the cities that this house controls. So this house controls 15 cities. So then you want to move into one of those cities. So I'm part of Harabi on this server. So here's everybody that lives in this city. And then once you get that far, before you go into the void, you want to pop into your house chat and say, hey, I'm going into the void. Does anybody have any gold troops or any troops that are way better than me? Because there's a ton of people that are going to be in your house, and there's going to be someone that's higher power than you. So you want to take their troops into battle with you. And on that note, that brings up another good point. Whenever you request to borrow troops from someone, you do that from the people icon. You go to members, you find them, click them, you hit borrow. Always, always, always make sure you have this checkbox checked. It says deploy only when injury rate is 100%. So what that means is whatever troops someone gives you, you're only going to be able to use them if they're guaranteed not to die. So that's why that's very important, because you don't want to take somebody's gold troops and get them killed. So very good point there. Always have that deploy checkbox on. So then you get your troops, and then you hop into the void here, go in and get things done. So that's how you do that, guys. So which hero do you choose? What are your choices, Anthony? You have Avalon, Rufio, and what's up, Kai? I'll jump on 1237 real quick. I sent you back to the capital because this game you have to be very active in, and people were getting attacked. So I had to go defend other people. So that's why you got sent to the capital, Kai. But feel free to come right back to the house. But you just got to check into the game at least once a day to make sure everything's all right. So let me go back to 1237. Pop back in. Yeah, Avalon, or Rufio. So Anthony, you definitely want to pick Avalon, because what he has an ability called a natural leader, and that'll allow you to take more troops into battle than you normally would. And at the lower levels, having an extra set of troops on the battlefield is very good to have. So there's that. Oops, my research complete. Let me go ahead and set that up. Complete. Alright, so let's get back to Succession War. Oh, sorry, I forgot one more question. Danny said about heroes. Where'd that question go? How do you get stronger heroes and better gear for them? So you just need to just keep progressing through the game, Danny. Do everything in your quest log. Get that completed. And then as the days goes on, you're going to start accumulating these XP cards and these stat cards for your heroes. And you'll also get gear as well. If you want some blue gear right off the bat, what you can do is go to your quest, and it'll be quest for slay somebody. And these are the bosses that are located around the map. So if you kill a boss, you're going to get some blue gear for your hero. So that's a good start. And then the second best place to get is where we just were, and that's just to craft the items. So those are your best bets on getting gear. And also the third best place is there's always a server event going on. You can click this present icon with the star in the top left, and this shows you the events going on. So if you complete the stuff here, you'll also get chests and loot that'll make it possible to get you some hero gear as well. So hopefully that answered your question, and thank you for everything. Anthony, I said Avalon, man, Avalon. Alright, so back to the Succession War. What the heck is the Succession War? The Succession War is held for the top 5 houses on the server that control the most cities. The good news about this is it is meant to promote teamwork, but the bad news is the success that you have in the Succession War highly depends on the server you're on, for the reasons that we just talked about with server 51 how the highest guy is 5 million power. Well, he's at a major advantage just because he's way much higher than everybody else. So his kingdom is at a really good advantage and is pretty much guaranteed to be in every succession war for the end of time. So the bad news about that is it really limits the type of people that can be involved in these wars. And the casual player, you know, if you get stuck on a server that just gets overwhelmed and, you know, luck is on your side, you may never get in a succession war. So that's the bad news about it. But hopefully your server is a good server. And if, you know, my suggestion is, if you start on a brand new server and you haven't really got anywhere within 2 months, find a different server. Because, and when I say find a different server, find a newer server, because if you just go to an older server, then you're going to be even more behind. So that's, you know, like I said, that's the bad thing about this game is you got to play every day if you want to be competitive. But if you just enjoy coming in here and battling and being the casual player, this game, like I said, is very addictive as well. So, let's go back to our leaderboards here. Oops. I forgot. I meant to be on. Let me go back to the 51 server real quick. I want to show you guys this. So let's show the leaderboards once again. This is the best people on this server. So, like I said, the top player has a really good chance of getting into the succession war. So, yeah. So in the succession war, let's go back to it. And, yeah, so where is it located? So in the very middle of the map, if you zoom all the way out, it's this little empty spot right in the middle of the map. And if you're a brand new player and you're not on the purple kingdom, you may not even be able to see this area yet, because there's that fog of war that, you know, you explore. So explore as much of the map as you can, and then eventually you'll get to this dead center in the middle. So we're going to go ahead and go there, and we're going to unlock this Imperium area, which is where the succession war is going to take place. This is called the Imperium, and we'll be there in just a moment. And Nakai, I saw your question about the Emperor tab. We will get to all of that information in just a little bit. So he did ask about this mount, and this mount is the reindeer mount. It came from last Christmas, so you sadly can't get this mount anymore because Christmas is over. But other mounts you can get by getting promoted to king, or, you know, there's just various ways you can get different mounts in the game. So stay tuned and stay active. So here we are at the Imperium, and at the center of the Imperium is what we call the Citadel area. So wow, this is the only building in the game that has this large of a footprint. I really like the artwork of this. I don't know if these circles mean that when the succession war starts, if something's going to be added there. Maybe this is where the houses go when they start. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Is there 5? Because there's 5. I don't really know what those mean, but hopefully when one gets underway, we'll be able to find out what it's all about. So, like I said, there's different phases to each succession war, and here's the Citadel right at the center, and then you have all these resource spots surrounding the Citadel. So this is where everybody's going to come and try to capture the Imperium for your house. So if you want to know all about the succession war, you come in here, you click on the Citadel, and on this server anyway, it says war starts in 6 days. And then you click on this question mark here, and this is where it's going to tell you everything you pretty much want to know about the succession war. And we're going to talk about the different phases of it. So the first phase is going to be the countdown phase. This phase takes place 10 minutes before the war begins. And during this time, if your house is a participant in the war, all of the strongholds will be moved back to the capital. The good thing about this is, awesome, congrats, you're in the war, you made it. use your teamwork, and leave your piggy banks alone. Do not spend money and really earn that win. But the bad news is, if you have the ability to place guard towers, aka governor and higher, this is what I don't like about Succession War. It kicks you out of your current stronghold wherever you are and puts you back in the capital. So if you've been waiting, if the timing, this is going to happen, the timing might get down to the final minutes before you can place that next guard tower, but nope, war starts and you get kicked out and then you lose that ability. So that's what I don't like about that is you get sucked right back into the capital and out of your city that you were in the house just to participate in this war. So that's the countdown phase. The next one is the capture phase. Oh, I forgot that. Man, you guys need to tell me. You can't hear the game at all. Sorry about that. Let me turn on the game music. There. Now we can have... I wanted you guys to hear the majestic music that comes out of this citadel. So sorry I didn't have on the music earlier, but... the game music is now on. Alright, so back to the capture phase. So this is the actual war phase where you do the battles. So much like the same way that your house takes control of a neutral city, or how you guys go through that process of capturing a city. Once this Imperium is captured, then everyone that's in the house needs to move to a city spot right on this map here. So that's how you will start capturing the citadel. And that once that happens, you go into the capture phase. And actually, that's the phase I'm talking about. But the bad news about the capture phase is this is going to be very different than when you capture a city. Because instead of just fighting one other house or however it may be, now you're fighting 4 other houses. So unless you are on a server that has completely dominated the map, in which case there's really no point to war anymore. Not to mention the fact that a war of this magnitude is going to require a ton of energy potions, which energy potions is what allows your heroes and your battles to take place in to begin with. And eventually this just might drive you to the point, and this is where Lilith is smiling and getting happy, because since you're going to have to use so many energy potions, it might drive you to the point where you're like, maybe I should spend a little bit of money just to help my house get this Imperium. So but the choice is yours. So that's what Lilith is planning on doing here. So I mean, they're a business, right? Even though it's a pay-to-win model, try not to get too upset with them, because they're just trying to run their business. So, but the bad news about this is if you're on a server that they don't use teamwork, it's just it's not going to be a fun experience, I don't think. So yeah, so hey Maziyu, welcome to the channel here. It'll be very expensive troop-wise to participate, dueling, then sieges. Yes. So what we're talking about here, guys, with the Succession War is all advanced stuff. So if you're brand new to the server, you're probably almost to the point where you want to tune out, because it's just information overload. But if you come to one of my servers, which is 1237, I am governor, and I just got promoted to advisor last week. So that's why I enjoy playing on 1237 server, because I feel like I'm important. Because if you go, like I said, let me show you the comparison while I'm thinking about it. So on the server I started at when I first started playing this game, look at me. I am rank number 259 in my kingdom. But on the server, let me go back to all. On the server, oops, player. On the server, I'm rank 1316. So now if I switched back to this new server that I just started 3 weeks ago, go back to those same leaderboards, I'm 25th in the kingdom, and on the server I'm rank 149. So if you, like I said, if you play a lot, you can be competitive on a new server without spending money. The only money I spend on this server is the subscription rate, which is $1 for your first month and then $5 every month thereafter. So that's currently all I've spent on this server. So Danny says his house is mostly inactive players and cities get attacked daily. Hard to take them back. Have to wait for players to get online. So Danny, what server do you play on? What's the number of your server? And Dogi Plays, welcome back, my friend. I do remember you. Remember that name? I don't know if you I first saw you on the Art of Conquest show or if it was a different night. But yeah, I did spend 10 on Jacques. Thanks, Mazie, for reminding me of that, because Jacques, he is the only hero where you can't acquire him in-game. The only way to get Jacques is to buy him. So that's why I spent $10 to get him. So that brings up a good point. In the shop, you can buy a hero, and he's going to be in this bottom left corner. So the first time you buy a hero, it's going to be $9.99. Right after that, you can see it goes up to $60, and in some cases, $100. So the very first hero you buy should be Jacques, because he is definitely the biggest bang for your buck. And after that, don't buy any heroes. I don't recommend anybody spend $60 just to get a hero or whatever. So that's my news on buying stuff. So Fran Montana, the Succession War is in game. The update is live, but the war hasn't happened yet. So there's still a wait for that. So all right, so let's get back to it. We were on the capture phase, so that's where the war actually takes place. And if I let's see, so the next phase is going to be, let's see what phase is next. Come in here, okay, it's the occupy phase. So after the battling has ceased, your house has officially captured the Imperium, but not completely, because the occupy phase is where it's time to move in to all these spots here that we were talking about. So you move into all these spots here, and during this time, the cooldown that normally you must wait in order to occupy a spot is greatly reduced, and wherever you move from doesn't turn into ruins. So in a regular city, if you're in a city spot and you move to another city spot, the previous spot just turns into ruins and nobody can move into the previous spot for 12 hours. So that's what this is talking about. So in the Imperium, if you move from one spot to the other, the previous spot does not turn into ruins. So the good news about all this phase is, do I need to say it again? Fine. You finally got control of the Imperium. All hail the house you belong to. You claim the Imperium. The bad news is, if your house doesn't use good teamwork, once this move phase begins, the lord of your house must and is required to move into this citadel spot. If, for whatever reason, they do not, then everybody that's in the house gets sent back to the capital and you lose your opportunity. So it's really important to have good teamwork in order to prevent all your commanders from being sent back to the capital. And then the last phase of this succession war is the defend phase. So in the defend phase, you have to spend 6 hours defending what you just captured. 6 hours. So, you know, if you keep getting attacked, this very well could go on for an entire real world day. So that's what's going to make teamwork a must in this situation. And it's going to be, otherwise it's going to be an agonizing 6 hours to try and claim this Imperium. So also, if you're the Citadel, so if your Lord moves in, but the Citadel gets destroyed during this phase, guess what? Yep, everybody's going back to the capital. So there's going to be a lot of tug and war that's going on. And Anthony, I am in 1237. So yeah. So Danny, if you're not having fun on 1246, consider 1237, or and I can help you out, because I got some pull on that server, and I at least won't be inactive. So I'll help you out as best as I can. But just do whatever you need to do. I don't want to sway your opinion or whatever, but just have fun. If you're not having fun, then I suggest switching to a different server. All right, so let's have a quick summary of the Succession War and talk about things that we haven't talked about yet. So the Succession War will last for 24 real-world hours unless a house claims it sooner. If no house has claimed it within 24 hours, there will be an overtime period. What the overtime period does is whatever phase the war is currently on, then overtime will allow that phase to finish. But if it's still not claimed, then nobody wins. So the rewards of this war is there's what's called a victory reward, which goes to everyone in the house that won the Imperium, and then everybody else that participated in the war gets a participation trophy called the login reward. So that's pretty much the Succession War in a nutshell. What is your realm? My realm is, here's the realms I play on, guys. The only one you're going to be able to play with me on is 1237, because server 51 is a merged server and it no longer accepts new players. But 1237 Vesta is my current second home, so that's where I play. That's where I'm on the Royal Council. Yeah, so if I go here, show you guys. Here I am an advisor, and underneath there I am a general on this server and governor of Mana Crown. So that's where my title is, General Duke of Mana Crown. So there you have it. So a couple of minutes ago, people are asking about the Emperor. So let's get into some Emperor talk. And at the beginning of the show, I talked about we were going to be talking about the good, bad, and ugly. Well, this is where we kind of get into the ugly stuff. So let's start talking about these Emperor changes. So before, you go to the kingdom, and the highest rank was king, obviously. So here's the layout. The king is at the top, obviously, and then all of his advisors are underneath him, and then next to him is the high prince and the queen, blah, blah, blah. And then the chancellor, the magister, the bishop, and the first sword all appoint these people under them. And so this makes up the royal court, royal council, however you want to call it. Each one of these roles has a different perk. So if we look at the king, you can click on their powers here, and you can do this at any time if you just go to the kingdom tab. So the king gets gold, elixir, and lumber plus 100%. And he also gets 10% faster building and research. He also gets gold protection, loot protection. He also gets a bigger army. He also gets faster healing rates in the hospital. He also gets a mount. So you guys were talking about how do you get different mounts. Well, the king gets a very unique mount. He's the only one that rides a griffin. And he also gets a couple new skills. Deploy guards, which if you're a governor of a city, like I am, I can deploy guards, but only in my city. But the king, he can deploy guards in any city that he wishes, that he controls. And then his other ability, he can promote guards. Promote royal guards of any one tower in any city to elite guards. And then he also gets a term reward, which is a chest, and then 500 Linari. So pretty powerful stuff. The High Prince gets a bigger army, faster building, faster research, and also deploy guards in any city within the kingdom. So I'm not going to go through all these, but that's just a quick overview of what you can do if you're on the Royal Council. So you might be thinking this already. You're like, man, that's a lot of stuff. So if you've played any game, like my first online game that I ever played was Star Wars Galaxies, way back in 2003, I believe. But this was the biggest game before World of Warcraft came out. So in Star Wars Galaxies, they had what they called an alpha class, which you can unlock the Jedi. The good news about unlocking the Jedi was there was a very small population of Jedi. The bad news about it is only the Jedi had these certain powers. Similar to this game, only the king has these certain powers. Only the royal council has these certain powers. So over time, it becomes even more difficult to catch up to these players in power, because no matter what you do, they're always going to have more loot, access to more loot than you. So the only way to compensate it is to either start buying stuff or siege more than they do, and loot. So keep that in mind as we talk about the Emperor. So now we have this Emperor. So here we go. So the Emperor, he can promote, he has his own little council as well called dignitaries. These dignitaries are warlord, merchant, prince, consul, surveyor, and oracle. Once again, they have their own special powers. Troop health plus 10%, bigger army, vanquish, which they can clear all active dungeons around the entire server, and harvest. So let's see what merchant prince has. More gold, more warehouse limit, and restock, refresh all the shops. Makes sense, you're a merchant prince, right? Consul, they have a bigger, faster troop training and troop healing, and fortify, fully repair the defensive walls of one commander. That's pretty cool. A full 100% repair. Alright, and a surveyor, troop attack plus 10%, troop health plus 10%, annex, instantly complete 40% capture progress of a city. That's a huge one. If you're capturing a city, you can almost complete it halfway just by this spell or this skill right here. And then the last one is Oracle, better research time and safeguard, cast or prolong the shield of a district to protect its resources from being plundered. Alright, so, and then you have these pariahs that's down here, which what this is, this is a penalty. If you insist on making a clown of yourself, the Emperor will be sure to let everyone know. Penalty. So these are the debuffs that the Emperor can bestow upon people. So he can have someone be 5% slower troop training. He can also say, you know what, troop health minus 2%. He can also say, you know what, troop attack minus 5%, and so on. So we'll just go through the rest of these. 2% slower troop healing and slower research. So if we go back to the Emperor, Nor's out an Emperor. Look at all the powers the Emperor gets. So we just saw what the King can get. Now let's talk about what the Emperor can get. So troop attack 10%, troop health 10%, 10% faster building, 10% faster upgrade research, 10% faster troop training, 10% troop healing, and a dragon mount. That sounds cool. I wonder if it's going to be flying in the air. That remains to be seen. But that's probably going to be the most sought after dragon mount. But the problem is this alpha class thing I was talking about. Only one person on the entire server is going to have this. And another thing I didn't mention about this succession war, whoever is appointed the Emperor will only have it until the next succession war begins. So I guess what, 2 or 3 weeks. So the bad thing is about being Emperor, this is the skill that makes me cringe a little bit, and it makes me feel hopeless. And I'm like, how the heck do you catch up to a guy that's Emperor? So look at this. Harvest. Collect all active resource points around Nor. So what that means is you go out here to the map. If I can get there. Alright, so go to the map. So all active resource points. So if you go around and you're walking around, boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna find a resource point. I'm gonna find a resource point. Find it, find it, find it. Find it, find it, find it. Go find a resource point. So these things here that are just lying around, these are what are called resource points. So what that ability does is allows the Emperor to collect all of them all at once, once per day. So crazy stuff to think about. That's an insane amount of cash flow that they have access to just by using this harvest ability. And Danny says, hey Stinkpot, think you can join my server 1246 high roll and help my house out since you are a very good player and know a lot about the game. Whew, I don't know, Danny. That's a lot to consider. I might pop in and say hi, but I don't know how often I can play because playing 2 servers, technically I play 3 servers, so playing 4 servers, and then I also play Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, Fortnite. It's just, Peaches is going to kill me if she finds me playing on another server. So I can come in and say hi every now and again and give you guys good tips and stuff, but as far as being an active player in the server, I don't think at this time that's going to be a possibility. So thanks for the offer, though. I definitely appreciate that. But I'll, like I said, I'll help you out any way I can. You can also find me on Twitter at Stinkpot Shack Show. You can email me, stinkpotshackshow@gmail.com. You can comment on any of these videos. There's plenty of ways to get access to me, so I'll help you any step of the way I can. Alright, so let's get back to the powers. And in addition to that, guys, that was just one ability they have. They can also vanquish, so they can clear all active dungeons whenever they feel like it. So they basically have the same skills that all of these guys do over here. If I go to the epithets, the powers of these guys, they have all of their abilities of the Warlord, Merchant Prince, all in the combined. So that's basically what the Emperor has. So this is my dish on the Emperor. You're making an alpha class that only one person gets, but you know, compare it to what I talked about Star Wars Galaxies. You could get Jedi, but back then you could get Jedi just by progressing through the game. That's different from this game because not any one player is going to be able to work hard and play every day and be competitive and be the Emperor. There's no guarantee you'll ever be Emperor. There's no guarantee you'll ever even get on the Royal Council. It's just when I started this new server, I made a point that I was going to get in here and get active and start talking to people to try and get on this council because, you know, I just wanted something that would help me get an edge because, you know, the longer you're not on a council, the bigger the gap gets. And so like we showed you on area or server 51, I'm 800k, the top player is 5 million. So the longer you're not in a position where you get those buffs, then the less competitive you're going to be able to be. So whatever server you're on, you really need to communicate. If no one's talking, communicate. Definitely when you communicate, be wary because there's spies everywhere. There's people that have multiple accounts and they love sabotaging people. So, you know, house chat is pretty safe, but never talk about, you know, super secret stuff in world chat. Never talk in even the Royal Council chat or even the Kingdom chat. You know, use private chats. You know, just be smart about it because just like real life and how, you know, countries, you know, will have espionage and spy satellites and all that stuff happens in the game too. So just be wary of that going on. But if you're committed and you're the leader type person, you can be successful in this game with some good players. And another thing about this game is not one person is going to be able to do it all by themselves. So you need a strong team of leaders to really carry forth your house and represent your kingdom well. So that 5 million player guy we talked about, even though he can beat anybody on that server at any given time, he still can't do it all by himself. So something to consider. So thanks, Danny. Thanks for watching the show, man. Next time we will be talking about, let's see, Sunday we'll be doing Clash of Clans. So yeah, we only do Art of Conquest on Thursdays at 7 p.m. So I'll pop in and say hi to you in game sometime. But once again, thank you for being a stinking subscriber and hope to see you soon, my friend. Whew. So my Z, talk about the Dragon update. Is there anything specific you're wanting to know? So if we go to, let's see, let me make sure I mentioned everything about the Emperor that I wanted to talk about. Oh, so another important thing about the Emperor, and I'm going to have to switch servers again to show you this. If you go, the runestones was the previous update. So if you go to your runestones in the game, and they're going, if you're a new player, you don't have this building yet, probably. But let me go to my altar here, or sorry, my temple. And now what they've done is they've added a new tier called the Emperor Empty Throne here. So it's activated at level 20. So let's go ahead and activate this sucker right now. Boom, activate. So here we go. This is the new one. The statue has been activated. All you gotta do is be Stronghold level 20 and you can unlock this. The Emperor is the ruler of all Nor and is vested with awesome powers that we've already talked about. Only a commander of unmatched power, integrity, and renown could become Emperor. Alright, let's look at that. So tier 1, new blessing, activate statue. So as soon as you get this statue, you get the power that allows you to increase troop training speed by 10%. And then as you progress through the game, in the void, in the free chests that you get daily, in the events you get, so there's all kinds of ways. You can even purchase them in the shop. So there's all kinds of ways where you can get runes. And then you come in here and put them in these slots. So let's go ahead and fill up what we can. Looks like I can only fill up 3 right now. So we'll just throw all these in anyway. Throw them in. Boom, boom, boom. So the goal is on any of these statues, the first goal is you want to fill up every slot. Because when you do that, you get this buff here. It says fill sockets. You'll get increased the health, increases the health, healing, efficacy, and attack of your army troops, excluding siege weapons, by 8%. And then as you get more rune stones, you can enchant them, like so. Let me do one more, enchant. So if you do it enough times, you'll get a +1 by it, okay? So then to get that third buff unlocked, you got to get that +1, turn it into a +3, and then it says +3 increases the might and stamina of all rogue heroes by 10. And some of them even, some of these statues even have a +5 a buff on it. So that's pretty much that for that. If you click on this, this tells you all about the temple and what we just talked about. So there's that. Hey, Derp Dude, welcome to the Stinkpot Shack Show. Consider subscribing if you're not already. I appreciate the viewership tonight. So, Mazio, I'm not sure what you're talking about in regards to the dragon update, other than the dragon is the mount for the Emperor. And, oh, Noisy Boy is now a stinking subscriber. Welcome to the Stinking Clan, my friend. It's good to have you here. There's 2 ways where you can win your very own Stinkpot Shack Show magic mug. 2 people have won already. So the first way is our 300 subscriber, which now we're at 292. So whoever the 300th person is will receive their very own Stinkpot Shack Show magic mug, which is a mug that has our logo on it, and it's black when you get it, but as the water heats up inside it, that's what reveals the picture. So that's one way. And then the second way on how you can get a mug is watch us when we play Fortnite, because we do the Wheel of Death, and it's like a Wheel of Fortune wheel, and we just randomly spin it. And sometimes it'll land on the merch mug spot, and when that does, that's how you can get one. Alright, so Mazie says, go back to the runestone, Stinkpot. Quit talking about your show. We all don't want that mug. Go back to the runestones. So here we go, back to the runestones. There are new types of runestones. You also get a dragon egg. Oh, that I did not know. Was that in the email? Thanks for letting me know that. So the dragon egg for beating level 90 of the void. So that is a very tall order to complete. So thank you for telling me that. Let's see if it's in the patch email. Okay, still talking about that. Still talking about the war. Emperor, Majestic Dragon. Doo-dee-doo-dee-doo. Other updates. Let's see if it's in here. Nope. Doesn't say anything about a dragon egg. Where'd you hear that info at? What? And that's another thing I don't like about the state of the game right now. Is on the official Art of Conquest forums. That's where I went to get all my patch notes. But recently, like in February, the former community manager left. And the new community manager doesn't even post in there anymore. So the forums from an official capacity they seem pretty dead. I can never find any of the patch notes or any new information on it. So how did you get the egg? Oh, you cleared level 90, does Stinkpot. Hey Mazzy, here, do me a favor if you don't mind. Pick one of these and send me a picture of that egg, and I'll get it posted up here. So you can find me on Twitter at Stink Shack Show, or you can send it to my Gmail, stinkpotshackshow@gmail.com. Gmail.com. There. Nope, I put Gmail, not Gmail. Gmail.com. And then the third way is I am on Instagram as well. Stinkpot_Shack Show is how you can find me on Instagram. So if you don't mind, Mazzy, you send me a picture of that. I'd love to see it because I am not anywhere near level 90 in the void. So what race are you? How did you get level 90? And I'm assuming you have level 13 troops. So, alright, so back to what we were talking about here. Let's go over, the last thing I want to cover was the rest of those patch notes. So we talked all about the succession war, blah, blah, blah. And let's see what else. So, a couple more things on the Emperor. Excuse me. Let's see. Ooh, they also have access to the Imperial Treasury, from which several tiers of reward chests can be bestowed upon commanders as a reward. Each commander may receive at most one chest between succession wars. Yes, I am dwarf on my server, so that's good news for me. I'm currently stuck on Void Stage 55. I cannot beat that one. I think I have to beat it in like 12 seconds or something like that. And I have gold. Most of my army is those gold blasters, and they still can't get the job done. So I've been stuck on that one for a couple of months now. So if you have tips on that, send it my way as well. 55. So other updates are when beginning to capture a city, there'll be a brief phase where your banner will be raised up. Hey, capture progress begins only when the banner is completely raised. The landscape of Aras has been changed from desert to grassland, and due to adjustments made to city locations, players will be teleported back to the vicinity of their home cities after the update. Okay, so that don't really apply anymore. 10 days after Rimwords, the blah, 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 blah. Alright, so that's pretty much all of the patch. Make sure you click on this patch complete email and collect your rewards from it. And that's most of the updates on the Succession War and everything else. It was a lot of information, and I tried to get it out as fast as I could. So I know there's a lot of questions. So feel free to send them to any of the places I mentioned, and we'll get that going. So I have that Instagram account, the Gmail account, and the Twitter account. I've been lazy with it, but I do have a Facebook as well. But I just need to get that going up as well. So let's see. We had a couple new subscribers tonight, so thank you all for that. I appreciate that. We're getting close to 300, and I cannot wait to get that 300th person to get their own very magic mug. So thanks for watching, guys. I am Stinkpot. This has been your Stinkpot Shack Show. Don't forget, Sunday is going to be Clash of Clans night because Fortnite Season 4 launched earlier this week, so we covered that already last Tuesday. So good to get some Season 4 action in already. If you guys have anything you want me to cover in the future, just let me know. Send me comments. Anything you want to talk about, just send them to me and we'll get chatting. It's been a pleasure, guys. We will see you Sunday, like I said, for Clash of Clans. Have a good night, guys. Svetoslav, a little too late, my friend, but it was good to see you. We'll see you next time. See you guys later.